I'd like to call this joint meeting of Internal Services and Health and Human Services Committees to order. And our first business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
On to adopt the agenda.
Thank you. I have a motion from Commissioners Romano and Grote to adopt the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Item 4, approval of the minutes of April 2nd of this year for joint Internal Services and Health and Human Services Committees. A motion to adopt the agenda.
Move
minutes.
Perna.
Support. Thank you. Commissioners Perna and Grote made the motion, supported it to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Item 5, public participation. This is the first opportunity for public participation. For those who wish to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any item that is on today's agenda. Later in the meeting, there'll be a second opportunity for public participation on any subject. Anyone for items on today's agenda? Last call, public participation items on today's agenda. Hearing none, we'll close public participation and move into Internal Services Department recommendations. First is a budget amendment from the Capital Improvement Fund for Microsoft Office 365 migration. $354,900. I need a motion to move to full board.
Mr. Chair, can I have items A and B?
Yes. Motion for A and B to move to full
Move
board.
to full board.
Thank you. Commissioners Romano and Howard made the motion and seconded it to move this item to full board. Okay, go.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We started this migration from Google email and docs to Microsoft in 2024. We finished the email portion of this last year, and now we have to do the Google Docs migration. It is quite a complex transition, as it's been in use for many, many years in the county. And for that reason, we did an RFQ to get a partner to help us with this transition. The decision was made to contract a company called Consultadd, a vendor that has relevant government experience in this space and has done quite a few government entities to help us with this migration. We anticipate that the users will be migrated once we have the approval by mid-December of 2025. So we're here for approval to enter into an agreement with this company.
Thank you. Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, Jaco.
Hi, Commissioner.
The transition over, is this the last piece of that puzzle, or is there going to be more going forward?
No, this is the last piece of the puzzle. We have already reduced our Google count because we still had to maintain the Google Docs portion of it, but we were able to scale it back with almost 100,000 since last year. But when this is done, then we can scale back completely, and there's another 140,000 or so that we can deduct. So then the full Google account will be eliminated.
Great. Thank you, Jaco. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Item 6C, contract with Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick for Macomb County Facilities Operations MS4 Program Compliance Permit for $73,044. I need a motion to move to full board. Thank you. Commissioner Lucido and Wayno, thank you. Made the motion and supported it to move this item to full board. Ben?
Commissioners, well, I was very brief yesterday. Today, unfortunately, will be a little bit longer. Item 6C is approving a contract with Anderson, Eckstein, Westrick. We formerly call them AEW, to provide municipal separate storm sewer systems, or MS4, compliance services in the amount of $73,044. Funding is in the 2025 operating budget contract services. F&O is part of the county's MS4 permit and is required to comply with National Pollution Discharge Elimination System stormwater permit requirements. We work on this permit with the help from our county public works. This program's inception was in the 1990s in administration by Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes Energy. All county-owned facilities are included in this plan, so we cover all the county facilities are included in this plan. The roads does theirs on their own. They do theirs separately, although it's all on one big permit.
Thank you. Seeing no one requesting to speak, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Item 6D, contract with Anderson, Epstein, Westrick Engineering for Macomb County Facilities, Pavement Surface Evaluation and Rating, Pavement Asset Management Plan, and Capital Improvement Plan for $98,305. I need a motion to move to full board.
So moved. Support, Perna.
Thank you. Commissioners Goike and Perna made the motion, seconded to move this item to full board. Ben?
So we are looking to approve a contract with AEW to provide engineering services from May or end of May, early June of this year to the end of December, or beginning of December, in the amount of $98,305. We have funding available in the 2025 operating budget. We have a line item for lot repair and maintenance. AEW is going to visit each site to rate the pavement condition on a pavement surface rating scale, also known as PASER, to determine the current condition of on-site roads and parking lots. Upon completion of the PASER field work, they're going to help us develop an asset management plan. This asset management plan will add in the understanding of our parking lots and road surfaces and appropriate repair options based on the PASER rating, along with estimated repair cost. The asset management plan will determine what level of funding will need to be provided for desired levels of services for the facility. So each kind of paving area is dependent on what we're doing at a facility. For example, we have a portion of pavement we have to replace at behind Martha T. Berry that has a lot of semi-truck traffic, so that gets a much heavier duty surface. The capital improvement plan, along with this project, will provide a 5-year analysis and plan identifying proposed repair types, estimated costs, and recommended project year based on the conditions. The PASER asset management plan, capital improvement plan program will develop an economical rehabilitation replacement strategy to provide the highest level of service at our facilities. So the intent of this on my side is really looking at our pavement in a much broader picture over time, so I can accurately do budget estimating, and so when I bring it to you guys in the fall, that it's more accurate. So that's my goal here.
Thank you. Commissioner Howard?
Thanks, Chair. The pictures were great, super helpful.
Yeah.
Annoying, like I've never been to Jefferson Township, but like once or twice. So
Yeah.
the boathouse, I got to make a visit.
Yeah.
My question is, does this include like the sidewalk? Because I've been like walking around downtown Macomb. It's been a few months since I've done that, and some of the sidewalks around our county buildings are pretty bad.
Yeah, for the most part, this plan covers the entirety of our property envelope. Depending on the building, some of those sidewalks are city or, so there's some obligations otherwise to other areas. But yeah, for the intent of this assessment, it's going to include walkways.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Lucido?
How often, how frequently do we do these assessments?
The assessment,
Basic ratings.
well, to being honest, this is my first go at it. This is very common with other municipalities, so that's how I kind of found out about it. This one will cover us for the next 5 years. So I'll come back likely, we'll be in a much better place, I think, after this one, because I don't really have the condition as a whole besides me driving around and looking at it. So this will set us up. We'll kind of see how it goes as far as in 5 years if we do another one, but I think this will get me on the path where I need to be, to continue the efforts to keep them up. So,
No, I think it's important for
Yeah.
sure to do. I was just wondering, like, if we had some sort of system in place that we do a new pacer rating, how many, within so many years.
so typically in the past, what was done was we'd hire an architect to kind of drive around and say, yeah, this needs repair, that needs repair. We've never done any real engineered testing. This is a civil engineering group, so
Yeah.
I think they're just going to give me better data. And out of that data, we'll be able to do the bid, and the bid will go out on Mint and do that whole thing, and we'll bring that project in front of you. But I do paving every year.
It's definitely important to do
Yeah.
because we don't want to be replacing them if we can just resurface them or patch them or whatever.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different things that I'm learning they can do to asphalt and concrete and to resurface, reseal, that sort of thing, versus just tear it out and putting it new. So,
Yeah. All right, thank you.
yep.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 6E, a purchase with Bernco Incorporated for Talmer Building entry door replacement for $65,093. I need a motion to advance this to full board.
So moved.
Thank you. Commissioners Howard and Groton made the motion and seconded it to move this item to full board. Ben?
So we are looking to approve a purchase with Bernco Incorporated to provide construction services for Talmer entry door replacement project in the amount of $65,093. Funding is available in our 2025 operating budget, and it's the line item we call repairs and maintenance. This project entails removing and replacing the exterior main entrance door and vestibule door at the Talmer building where our county clerk is, our registered deeds department and finances. So the door is existing from when we purchased the building. They have not been replaced. We've made a few repairs to them. The locking mechanism on it it's not a traditional key lock. It's a magnetic lock. These magnetic locks are failing, essentially. They start losing their grip on the doors and it becomes a real security issue. And the other problem we're having is when these locks fail, they fail non-secure because you cannot lock people into the building with magnetic locks. So it's a real security issue is what it comes down to. So we are looking to replace these doors, outfit them with proper hardware, locking mechanisms, and the badge readers that we have there now. This work will be done after hours, so we do not impact the operations in the building. There's no other public entrance besides that front entrance. We have selected Bernco, a general contractor, to assist, as there are multiple trade contractors and personnel that will need to be involved in this project. Bernco has done several door replacement projects for the county, including the employee entrance on the north side of the Talmer building. So that's all I got there.
Thank you. Will they be able to, you said they're doing it off hours. Will they be able to do this like in one night?
Yeah, so they're planning on working, doing one door at a time. And by the time the day's done, it'll be locked and secured and ready to go. So it's going to take place over a couple weekends, and they're only going to do what they can finish in that day. So everything's
Okay.
secure, yeah.
So there won't be any security
Nope.
issues at all?
Nope.
Good. Good deal. Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 6F, a budget amendment from the Capital Improvement Fund for the jail sanitary line replacement, gun range, HVAC replacement, medical freight elevator modernization, and new generator fuel tanks for $1,235,000. I need a motion to move this to full board.
Support.
Thank you. Commissioner Lucido and Commissioner Goike made this motion and seconded it. Ben?
So we have a whole slew of projects here kind of lumped into one. We are looking for $1,235,000 in funding to replace the main sanitary line that runs along the front of the jail. If you visited there, it's kind of where all the police cars park, right in front. Gun range, HVAC replacement, medical freight elevator modernization, and a new generator fuel tank for the facility. The projects were included in the bid process with Granger Construction in GMP number 5 that was brought to the board and approved in December of 2024. We decided as a group to utilize the purchasing and bidding power of the overall CIAC and CIP project to attract better pricing, bigger vendors, bigger construction companies. So the county opted to add these projects into Granger's contract. None of these items included in the amendment were included in the original project scope provided to Partners in Architecture. These are items discovered through the design process and through regular maintenance of the facility over the last couple of years. The funding for these projects is in the 2025 capital improvement plan.
Thank you. Commissioner Lucido?
So I have a question about the gun range upgrade.
Sure.
So we're not redoing the gun range with the new jail?
The new jail they're redoing the gun range, yes, but we unfortunately, when this was designed, with the team before me, they did not include HVAC replacement, and when the engineers did their thing, they said that it needs to be replaced, so it aged out. And size.
I guess that's my question. So is this replacement we're doing now is on the existing gun range?
Yes, yep.
We're rebuilding a new gun range with.
It's the same one. We're remodeling the gun range. I'll call
Okay,
it.
so we're just remodeling. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to take 6G and H together. This was a receive and file. This was approved via a bypass project for facilities and operations, Elizabeth Street Pump Station electrical panel replacement and reallocation, $60,150. I need a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. Commissioner Lucido and Grote made the motion and seconded it to receive and file this. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. It's now my pleasure to turn the gavel over to Commissioner Lucido, the Chair of Health and Human Services Committee.
Thank you. And we will start with item 8, which is our quarterly report from Veteran Services. And we have Laura here today. Can I get a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Oh, so send it full board, sorry.
Same thing.
All right, we have a motion and support. How are you?
It's hot outside. Hi there, how are you? So I have my quarterly report, which you all have a copy of, and I've been very overwhelmed and inundated with a million other things in the last few weeks. And the one things I want to bring up is our advertising did start, that you did do the budget amendment or the budget approval a few months ago for that, and that did start at the beginning of April, and that's ongoing. And then I basically took a big look, noticing we have about 2,000 less customers than last year. So I know where that's probably coming from. So I need to address that at my office. Because the one person who gets the majority of the phone calls and does the majority of the work doesn't get the opportunity always to log it in. So I'll work on that to kind of address the number of contacts that we're getting. But, and a lot of hers are coming by email. But that's our emergent need grant program, which we do spend a lot of time working on. But other than that, everything else is pretty much business as usual. Do we have any questions?
Well, I don't see any questions, so that's
Yes,
a good
nothing
thing.
exciting in the first quarter. Tax season's over. Hey, did everybody get their taxes done? Yeah. So,
And as always, thank you, and thank you for what a wonderful job you do over there. I do get a ton of compliments, so I do appreciate you. So,
Yes.
thank you.
thank
Oh,
you.
wait, I do have we do have someone that jumped in here last
Let me
second.
guess.
Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Um, thank you for everything that you do. One of the, I guess, is out of curiosity and trying to understand what all we do with veterans in regards of housing. Do you have any involvement with the VAST program in regards to housing with veterans?
The HUD VASH? Are you
The
talking about the
VAST
HUD
program,
VASH?
the veterans, where it's a federal program where it's the last step before a veteran becomes homeless. It's called VAST, Veteran Assisted Supplemental Program.
So Macomb Community Action has what we call SSVF funds, which is Supportive Services Funds for Veterans and their families. And that is a fund to prevent homelessness and also, once they are homeless, to rapidly get them housed, pay for first month's rent, help them assist with getting them back on their feet in a house. And they also have a list of landlords that they work with, and we work with them because they do have some money that pays for certain things. But let's say it doesn't pay for like all of the hotel. It won't pay for, put it this way, it's a lot of money to get someone homeless into a home again. Because you got furniture, paying for storage, and a lot of times it comes with that they can't even get the utilities turned on until they pay their shut-off notices from their last couple places. So we work together as a team. The HUD VASH, which are vouchers for homeless veterans to receive subsidy, like the VA pays the veteran pays 30% of their income towards a house, and the VA, this HUD VASH voucher, which comes from HUD, and the VA downtown Detroit takes care of that program. And the VA downtown Detroit also has what we call the walk-in center. So if somebody identifies, actually, as I drove into the parking lot, I got a call saying this person's homeless, living in a hotel. I said, okay, did you do step one? Step one is getting with the VA hospital and getting them triaged. Step two is, okay, they found an agency to pay for their hotel. Step three, this person's not working. So when you look at the scenario, if somebody had income, then it's very easily, I wouldn't say easy, but it's easier to get somebody in a house because we got guaranteed income. When you got somebody with no income, I can get you in a house, but how are you going to pay for it? So it's more of it's a harder strategy to work for. And that's where a team of multiple agencies come together, and they call it we call it the by name list. So they meet every week and talk about the veterans that are on the by name list. And the by name list are veterans that are in shelters, veterans that are living in cars, and veterans that are risk of homelessness. Like they already got their eviction notice, that kind of thing. So it's a team. It's a team of Macomb Community Action. It's a team with Detroit VA, and it's also a Disability Network of Macomb is also on that list because they also have funds from federal government to assist.
Thank you. Do we have any numbers, or has there been a study done on veteran homelessness here in Macomb County and those that are on the brink or risk of becoming homeless?
I can get you those numbers. I personally don't have that number with me at this moment. It's not something that I usually present, But we do have those numbers. I have those numbers, Macomb Community Action has those numbers, because we're on the same meeting, my staff is. So I can get you those numbers, I can email you those numbers, I can email
Yeah,
it to our,
email is fine.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It was I'm on a committee for veterans with the National Association of Counties, and some of these questions came up, and they encouraged us to reach out to our veterans services and ask them, and so that was super informative. I appreciate it.
my biggest thing, I've been reading some of the things that are coming down from above, as in, this is what the president wants to do, and this is what the projected wrath of what the president wants to do, because he wants to cut. And one of the things is housing money for veterans. So, we've worked probably a good 10 years to try to end homelessness, or be at what we call functional zero, where we have a plan when they identify as homeless. Within 30 days, we got a plan and we got them taken care of. We've worked hard at that. And it's not just me, it's a bunch of agencies that have to work very hard at that. And not knowing what's going to happen, because he doesn't know yet either. But, we see the writing that's coming down. These are the projected, and then it's going to all look different. So, but I'll get you what I have, and you just want to know numbers.
Yes,
Like, I can give you current numbers. Is that good?
that's perfect. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
perfect.
All right, seeing no other speakers, can we please vote?
Thank you.
Motion passes 12-0.
All right, now we'll move on to department recommendations, and we are going to start with a budget amendment to Macomb Community Action, reclass United Way basic needs anchor revenue source at $100,000. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board?
Support Zinner.
All right, I have a motion by Wallace and support by Zinner. Hi Ed, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is also well. If I may, just very quickly, just refer to the previous question. Our last point in time homeless count, the last verified numbers was about 450 for Macomb County. We do not, in that count, separate out for veterans, though. So that's just total homeless that were encountered the night of the count. So as Laura mentioned, we'll work on getting the specific veterans number for you, and we'll get that over to you.
Thank you.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you have before you is a budget amendment to approve the change of status for the United Way Basic Needs Anchor Grant. Apparently, when the budget was loaded, it was incorrectly entered by the Finance Department, and this recategorizes that $100,000 to charges for services instead of intergovernmental revenue.
All right, seeing no speakers, can we please vote?
Motion passes 12-0.
Now we're going to move on to item B, which is another budget amendment for Ballmer Group Awards, supplies and services, and contract services in the amount of $469,323.94.
So again,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I need a motion.
Recommend a full board.
Apologies.
All right, we have a motion by Kraft, support by Wallace. All right, now we're good.
Apologies for jumping the gun. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you have a budget amendment in front of you to move $469,323 out of fund balance. This is a grant that was received from the Ballmer Foundation, I believe in 2023, shortly before I started in this position. And we're working to get the money spent down by September 1. As we went through the budget process this past year, that 469 was put into fund balance as a way to carry it into this year. And so we want to move it out of fund balance so that we can get it all spent down. We have been using this money for all sorts of things to support our operations, professional development. We've purchased additional supplies. We've used it for the purchase of food for the community food bank. We've used it for outreach and promotions. We recently had Show Me the Money Day, a financial literacy event, just about a month ago. And, we used some of these funds to buy promotional materials for that. So this, it's relatively unrestricted. And so that's a very good thing for us because we're able to put it to good use across all of our programs.
All right. Seeing no speakers, can we please vote?
Motion passes 12-0.
And we will move on to the next budget amendment, community action, allocated increased funds for the Department of Energy, PY 2024 budget in the amount of $124,000. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board? Motion by Wayno. Yes.
Support.
Support by Howard. All right.
So again, one more budget amendment. I've mentioned before when I've come before this body that for many of our federal programs, we're given a placeholder number to start with for budgeting purposes, and then throughout the year, that number gets adjusted up or down, often up for us, because we are a county that tends to do a good job of spending dollars. The Department of Energy grant is one of our primary sources of funding for the weatherization program. And this is an additional $124,000 increase. Again, I think I have mentioned the way this process works, but typically they're constantly monitoring other agencies who have these dollars throughout the state. And if funds aren't being spent, they might pull those back and redistribute them to places where the money can be put to better use. Macomb is one of those places. And so that gets us an additional $124,000. And I just want to mention, because I think this was a question the last time I was in front of this group, for our weatherization program, we are typically doing improvements on about 85 homes per year, I should say. And we braid together this Department of Energy funding and 2 or 3 other funding sources in order to make those changes happen.
Okay, thank you. We do have a couple of speakers this time. We'll start with Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Am I remembering correctly that the program year goes through the end of June?
That's correct.
Will you be able to spend this money by then? That's just a little over a month.
Yeah, we typically do not struggle with spending money. There's several projects that are currently in progress now, and when it comes to making improvements on homes, $124,000 actually doesn't go quite that far, especially when we're looking at multiple jobs. At any given time, we probably have 12 to 15 jobs happening at once, and so I don't anticipate it'll be an issue to spend through this.
For this program, do you have to be invoiced and pay the bill by the end of June, or do you just have to have the job on the books?
It has to be on the books.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ed, for your job that you do. Is this a grant or is this a low-interest repayment loan that would, they would put a lien on the house?
This is a grant.
Okay.
So when a person enters into the program, these repairs are done and there's not an expectation of reimbursement.
So that was involved with grant or low-interest loans?
Yeah, we do have it's a separate funding source, but we do home repair, home rehab, and that does place a lien on the property.
Yeah, so the owner, is deceased, and then at that time, it's brought due. Yeah, very familiar with that one. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Seeing no other speakers, can we please vote?
Motion passes 12-0.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Have a good afternoon.
You too. We'll move on to item D, a budget amendment, Metro Solutions Incorporation, sub-grant agreement, fiscal year 2025, advancing healthy births in the amount of $25,000. And we have Krista here from the Health Department. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board?
So moved.
Support.
All right, I have a motion and support. How are you?
Good. Good afternoon. The Health Department is requesting a budget amendment in the amount of $25,000 for a grant that we received to improve healthy birth outcomes in Macomb County. We intend to spend the funds to purchase blood pressure monitors, which will be distributed through our home visiting nurses at their home visits, assist with transportation needs to medical appointments, and expand our outreach efforts.
And I see no speakers, so can we please vote?
Motion passes 12-0.
Well, that
Thank
was very
you.
simple. Have a good day. Thank you. And next item E, contract VA Food Service Corporation. Food service contract, shelf-stable meals in the amount of $114,200. And we have Nicole, who is the program manager. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Can I get a motion to recommend a full board?
Motion to recommend the full board.
Support. Motion by Romano, supported by Wayno. All right, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
So today, the contract we're seeking approval on is around providing shelf-stable meal packs to Meals on Wheels participants. As part of our service standards, we're required to provide and replenish on a regular basis shelf-stable meals for Meals on Wheels clients for days that we may unexpectedly close and are unable to provide meals for a specific day.
Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. Good afternoon. What is a shelf-stable meal?
Yeah, so they're gonna be a pack, and there are, what we requested are 4 complete meals in each pack. Everything is individual servings so that they can open a single meal at a time. So instead of something like maybe a Gleaner's pack where they might say there's 42 meals worth of food in the pack, these are 4 individual meals that can be opened at 4 different points of time. They're intended to be things that don't require cooking per se, and are shelf stable, so they don't require refrigeration. So if there's an extended power outage, they could easily open and consume these meals for 1 day or 2 meals or whatever it is that they need in that situation.
Okay, I see this vendor is from south of Benton Harbor on the other side of the state, 220 miles away, 3.5-hour drive. Nobody closer?
No, I had to bid this out twice even. The first time we published it, we didn't get any responses. The second time, the other bidder was actually out of Texas. And their price point was actually higher because of the increased cost of shipping.
So do they freight this over large tractor trailers or? Yeah, okay. Also, I see that the vendor signed the contract on March 25. And why did you skip a month to bring it to us?
I just missed the deadline to get it on the April agenda.
Okay. And have we signed this contract yet?
No, it's coming to the board for approval before it goes for final signature.
Okay, but the contract ends or begins June 1st. So we're still a little bit ahead of that. So we're okay then?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
All right, seeing no other speakers, can we please vote?
Commissioner Bueno, the system didn't capture your vote. If you'll voice vote, I can add it.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 12-0.
All right, moving on to public participation. At this time, if anyone wishes to speak, they have 3 minutes. And seeing no one, we'll close public participation. Moving on to commissioner comments. Any commissioners? All right, seeing none, we'll close commissioner comments.
Motion to adjourn.
Please vote.